Welcome back into episode 2 here on the Bedrock Farlands SMP, and I have some plans for today. What I need to do is I need to turn this starter house into a shop, and that's the first priority. So as you come in the front door, again, we talked a little bit about last episode, this is going to be a banner shop and a custom shield shop. But in order to do that, first things first is you need stock. I have gone and gotten all of the different banners. One was given to me by Kiergon, so there's a little bit of an IOU there. But what I want to do is I want to move in a couple of villagers to man the stalls, and I need to get some supplies. We need to get some shields on the go, and then we need to work on some banners. I want to have all the alphabet and all the numbers here, and I've got no idea how to do them. I've never made a banner in my life, and so this is going to be a bit of a process. So we might come back in here after, and we might do some banners together just to see how it goes. I really don't know, and I don't want to just go on Google and get the computer to tell me how to do it. I want to figure it out myself. Then later in the episode, I think I've been talking to Combi, and he might come over and give me a hand. I want to try to do some custom trees, not just generic ones. So I have gotten some supplies, and I think between the two of us, we're going to try to figure out some way of building some custom trees through here and some path. There's a path marked down with these path blocks. But I think Val might have been coming up with a bit of a texture that we might use, and to try to make this look more like an intentional space. Also, as you come down around this side, I think maybe like a little retaining wall. Don't pay attention to the sandstone right now, but I'm going to do a bit of terraining, exterior work, and just try to make this place look really polished. Well, banners were not as simple as I thought they were going to be. Pay no attention. Well, I'll show you in a second. Banners were not as simple. I've gone through and made all the alphabet. And varyingly, I mean, sure. It's way harder than I thought it was. Way harder than I thought it was. I have all the letters, and then I have all the numbers in black and white. Custom colors will cost. But basically, once I duplicate them, they'll all go in the barrels, and you can buy from the barrels instead. And again, everything is labeled, so numbers are 1 diamond. Please take from the barrels. I try to make it as simple as possible. I still need to come up with some kind of design, or maybe like banner art up there. Actually, might be the good. Might make sense. Put banner art. We have moved in a couple of guys, and also I have a bunch of shields. Shields all are. I'm breaking and mending on them, so you're getting a good value. We've actually sold some already at just generic prices, and we have a couple of villagers moved in. They are not named yet. That's something we're going to work on in a minute. There is one Jeff, but that's it. And then enchanted shields are 3 diamonds. We have another guy here, and custom shields are 5 diamonds. I've got a couple mock-ups. I mean, I don't. This is a skill that I don't have, and I'm going to be working at it. But also, if you don't have time to talk to me, you can leave your custom orders in, if you can just barely read it, the custom orders in the book. And I have traded with the guys, and this is now my source of mending. I can just trade them wool for emeralds, or I can buy dye, or I can buy banners, which is a huge deal because banners are very expensive. I did not realize how expensive banners are. 6 wool for 1 banner, and I'm making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of banners. So having a villager helps. The dye shop is open and ready to go. 1 bulk dyes, 1 diamond per bundle. So you buy a bundle and you can fill it with whatever you want for dyes. It's already starting to work. It's already starting to sell. Over here, I'm actually going to be selling the fancy flowers for 1 diamond a stack, because I do have I have the sniffers down underground. So you'll be able to buy the pretty flowers here. Other than that, I've been working on some decoration. Oh yeah, whoa. We're selling white wool for 1 diamond for 3 stacks. There's plenty of stock in here. I wanted to be pretty cheap because once somebody else has a wool shop up, we'll tear that down. But in the meantime, people do need wool on the server. But back to decorations, and maybe let's go this way. I'm working on the path, and the pathing is based off of what Val has done over here at spawn. And I don't have the mud brick block yet. It'll be something I'm going to work on here in the near future. But I'm taking Val's idea and I'm going to run with it and surround the area. But what we're doing for color is I added a flag to the top of the staircase tower. And I figured that we'd go with some spring colors. So pink, yellow, and blue. So that's going to be the spring colors. And then I figured, well, you know, we need a bit of color on the side of the building. So I put these big banners up. And then down here where our staircase down to mining area has an awning on it. So what my idea is, as the seasons change or as holidays come up, we'll keep adjusting the colors of these to match. Night sky over here has the starting of some like street lights. So I think I'm going to replicate this as the street lights around my area too. So we must get a little bit of continuity between the builds. Well, I think Combi might be a little bit busy, so I've gone and got a bunch of wood. I've got some oak and some birch and a bunch of leaves and some spruce, and I'm going to come up with like a pattern for trees. And I think I'm gonna try to spend a lot of time replicating it like all the way across as much of the island as possible. It's gonna start here, and then I'll keep it towards the path. And I'm just gonna take it upon myself to do a lot of this around the server because people are so busy on other projects. So I'm gonna mock up a couple of trees. Once I get a good feel for it, maybe we can come on together and build a couple, and I can show you what I come up with. I still don't really know. I don't usually what I do if I want trees. If I want a tall one, I plant a 4x and grow a giant spruce tree. This time I'm gonna try to grow them from scratch and come up with like some rules on how I'm making them and come up with 2 or 3 different variations, and we'll see if I can spread them across the island. We did one tree here on live stream, and I'll try to replicate a couple more for you, but this is what I come up with. It's kind of like a pine tree, and so they're a little bit wispy leany, and then some very sparse branches and very sparse leafage on it. And I wanted to like cover up the build behind it, but also let enough light through that you could see it. So the idea is, if I've got the blocks to do it, yeah, that's fine. The trunk will get a little bit bigger, but I just want to show the process, and we'll go up step by step. So I'm doing layers of 3 branches. The bottom layer, I've spaced them out to be about 5 blocks away from each other. So I'm just picking like a random starting point of like, say, here. And then we're going to come out on a bit of a diagonal and try to come out like 5 blocks. So again, this is why the process is a little bit slow, is that you have to build out the blocks to get on the diagonal, and then build out the blocks to get on the diagonal, and then build out the blocks to get on the diagonal. And then what I'm going to try to do is get a little bit of a shape to where it comes up and comes back down again. So here and here. And again, I am not an organic builder. This is not something I would normally do. Normally what I would do is I would just plant a tree, and we talked about that a lot on stream, is that I would normally just grab some saplings and plant a tree and be done with it and call it a day. But I'm trying to do a little bit more. And then I want to get up here. And add a little bit there. So what I'm going to go to is I'm going to go through and place a bunch of branches down, and then we'll talk about how the leaves work. But you can see branches would come off and they go up a little bit and come down. So it goes up a little bit and then comes down, and then the leaves on it will come hang off the bottom and droop down. So it's kind of giving some motion to the tree, and they're gonna all kind of lean in together, and they're at different heights. But let me get around and show you the next step after the branches are all on. The kind of rule I've kind of come up with for these trees, again, there's no right or wrong. This is meant to be like a type of a pine tree. I'm starting with like a 5 wide branch to start with, and then going up a couple blocks and going with a 4 wide branch, and then going up a couple blocks to go down to a 3, and then we'll go to a 2 and a 1 to try to kind of like narrow the shape up. So you can see, like, if you're just looking at the outside edge, it kind of comes up and comes up and comes up to a point. And then we'll fill it in with some greenery. And I just want to leave enough space between the branches so that when you start coming back in with the leaves, it's quite apparent where the branches are. If it's too tight, then I find it just turns into a great big ball, like the generic tree is. It's just a great big mass of leaves. And so I wanted to have a lot of the build in behind show through. But this is a nondescript side of the build that, you know, I kind of wanted to cover most of it up. So the next row is a 3. Will come up off of here, and the leaves. I'm putting 3 branches per ring, and just kind of alternating. So like this branch is on the flat side, so then now this one is going to come off of the diagonal. And again, even though it's only 3, I want to come up a little bit with one, and then come back down just a little bit, just to give the branch itself a little bit of movement. So then, again, this would come down one about there, and everything you do, there's Combi flying by. Everything you do, you tear one down to put one back on. So it's just a little bit of movement, and we'll keep going up. Well, there now, strangely enough, that I've got a shape that I like, which might not look like much to you, but depending on what angle you look at, I'm looking at the total shape, and maybe like little things like that one comes off. But the other thing is, when you start adding leaves, you can adjust the shape of it pretty easily. So next step is to take some leaves and put on too many leaves to then to take some off. And what I want to do is to establish a shape that's got like a downward leaf pattern to it. But I want to remove a lot of them after I put them on, to end up with a very airy, open kind of space where you can see through it. And again, the last one I wanted to dip down, so we'll like, the last one should come down. Again, showing off as much as the branch as possible. And I don't want to like just line the branch with leaves. I want it to like show through in different places. So just keep adding and subtracting till it feels right. You never quite know where it wants to be. And I want to concentrate the leaves near the end of the branch, but again, still showing as much of the branch through as possible. So I will keep fluffing, and it's, for me, it's very much add way more than you want and then take a bunch off. And I'm trying to look around at the tree from multiple different directions. So yeah, we're going to keep adding to this tree, and I'll show you, I mean, what it looks like near the end. Again, we're going 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 for the branch length, and then we'll add a bit to the top and see what it looks like. So like most things I do, I don't strive for perfection. I'm not here to give you a tutorial on how to make a tree build, because I'm not very good at but I'm having fun, and it's intentional. So what I'm finding is working best for me is trying to be very moderate. Less is more. I'm trying not to let leaves connect. If they do connect, to remove them. Let the tree breathe a little bit, and take very many steps back and look at different angles and see, when in doubt, remove some. But this is the first pass. Again, it's a little messy. You see a lot of tree, which actually I kind of like. This tree's very leany this way, so maybe we just take a little bit off the front here, a little bit, just a tad, just to make it feel a little bit better. And maybe like this could actually get turned into a half slab instead of a full slab. Just enough to kind of change the height of it. So we could do that. And we could even shorten it back a little bit, because the tree does look like it's leaning quite a bit from that angle. Yeah, just a little bit better. This up here is a little bit messy, so maybe I'll mess around with that a little bit. But yeah, it's just keep adding and subtracting, taking some off, adding some on, filling up a little bit. Now the next thing we have to do here is what I've done over here is I've just added a little bit of finesse to the trunk. I've got stripped dark oak and some stairs and trying to add some roots. The cool thing too about roots, which I haven't done here, is where we're on bedrock. Any partial block will let light go through. So technically saying is if this was a dark build, I could light it up. I could put a light underneath it here and then put that half slab across, and that in turn would allow you to add light to the build. So let me do one more final pass of leaves, and we'll add some to the trunk here, just to kind of pretty this tree up. I'm figuring like maybe, I don't know, maybe the root goes into the tree, into the side of the hill here. Again, it's all about like creating a bit of a story. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. That's what I strive for. It just has to have a reason for being there, and maybe it's as simple as something like that. Just add a little bit of momentum or movement. Yeah, that's probably lots. Yeah, cool. Let me do a little bit more to leaf, and we'll be right back. I'm surprisingly happy. I'm surprisingly happy with what these are turning out to be. I know maybe in the eye of the beholder they're a little bit sloppy, but I think I like it. I think I like it. So I'm going to continue on. I've got 1, 2, and then 3, 4 more to do of this type of tree, and then we'll come back and talk about what a birch tree might look like, because I think down here I want to do a second tree type. We'll do like a shorter, fatter birch tree, and something that I can carry across to the rest of the islands, because there's lots of land to cover up, and yeah, I think custom trees might be good. So the birch tree won't be half as tall, but it'll be wider and more full of leaves. So I have to go get some more product. I have to go get some more things. But yeah, I have surprisingly I really enjoy just doing these trees. Yeah, let's just do the other ones. Birch, but I decided against the birch, and the chat got me convinced to try to do a popple tree. And so they're very skinny and very branchy and very leafy and very straight, and they're just like a simple kind of alternate. So let's throw one more in over here, just to give like a bit of a visual difference. 2, 3, say, and then we'll lean it in that way a little bit. So what I'm doing here to get a little bit of flow in the tree is just bending it over 1, 2, 3 with stairs. And in this version of a tree, I'm trying to strip it, so I'll have to go back and get my axe. Going straight up with some fences. If I can get over here and actually get up. Up about 3. And then coming through with leaves. I don't know why I'm bouncing on that. Why am I bouncing? Why am I bouncing? Up 1... 1, 2, 3. Trying to keep a bit of a different height between them all. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and add some fences, or some fences as like the base of a branch, and then try to keep it kind of like, again, really narrow, really quite narrow. And keep adding it to, and like having a low branch here where the tree bends over to try to hide a little bit of the bend. But yeah, let me go grab my axe. Well, I'll knock this out and I'll show you. Basically, it is a little branch, a couple leaves, and just very straight and narrow. And then kind of stepping back and seeing what that looks like and where it needs a little bit more or a little bit less. The next one I wanted to add is, the reason I'm doing this is because this will give me a blueprint on what to do around the server, around spawn. Hi, Combi. The next tree I want to try to make is going to be like a larger oak tree. And so a bigger base, branching really out to a lot of thicker branches and a lot of foliage. I really don't need to keep cutting back and forth and showing you afterward. We could build this together. Again, this is a very small tree, and I've done something like this similar in my old BFF world, the Bent Family and Friends, my old streaming world. Similar typing. What I've done here though is trying to be a bit more random with like where branches are. So what I like to do again is try to let as much branch, air quotes, show through as possible, and try not to be super samey, matchy with where all the things and bits go. So if I put a branch here on this side, I don't want it to be the same as another one, so I would go up here instead, or even just go too wide of a base. Try to end up with a shape that's quite large and yet leaves a lot of open space. Again, it's a trial and error. I don't pretend to know what I'm doing. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. Like there again, not there, and then it can't be there. So you kind of start running out of places to go around. So sometimes I'm placing blocks and just tearing the whole thing back down again. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the best thing about Minecraft is there's no right or wrong way. There's no good or bad. It's just the matter of intention. My goal is to have a tree that looks something like a popple tree, or maybe it's just something that looks like a tree, or maybe it's, to me, it looks like a popple tree. Maybe to you, it doesn't look like anything at all. That's fine. But I'm just going to keep adding blocks. Maybe just every once in a while you leave a space where there shouldn't be a space. Sometimes you add a branch where there shouldn't be a branch. It's really nothing wrong, no good, right, again, no right or wrong. Just in the end, I want something that looks green with some wood in the middle of it. Could there be some more up here? There could be. And again, we could go back here and actually take this out. And instead of it going strip as one piece, it could branch off here. Like such. And you could go this way with some more branches. Maybe this goes down to here. And there'll be a way to add a little bit of greenery around. Again, they all just have to look kind of similar. They don't have to be, so I'll go back and look, you know, maybe that doesn't look right there, so we'll knock that off. And this kind of detail level takes me a long time. In case you couldn't tell, sometimes this will take me way longer than it should. Like maybe I don't like the fact that this is hanging out here a little bit, and I'll take that off. Or maybe I do. What I do is I like to come back a ways away and just look at it as a whole from a distance. And sometimes you're just happy with it. So I need to go create a glow lake and farm and light these guys up a little bit so that at nighttime they don't blend in so bad. And this tree, it's going to be really big. I'm picturing like big branches hanging off, and I actually have to go collect some blocks for that as well. Seeing how this whole video is just me bouncing back and forth doing different things, note to future self or future Ron. Try maybe doing this step while you're making the tree, because parkouring around this tree, although it is super fun, it is a struggle bus to get around here and try to find places. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hide this glow like and not visible from the front, but just enough in the back so that it lights the tree up at nighttime. But the problem is with this many people on the server, over and over again, this late into the sea already, it's hard to get night to ever know if the tree is lit up enough. So I'm going to go with what I feel looks good, and then maybe the next time that it actually does turn to nighttime, we can come back and actually check and add. So yeah, let me keep doing this for like an hour, parkouring around inside trees, and yeah, I'll come back if I can ever find nighttime. Yeah, I think I've aborted the idea of the bigger. I need a break on custom trees for a bit, so we're gonna leave that for now and put a pin on it. I think we're gonna call the starter house kind of done for now, and maybe let's get out and work on the industrial area. I'm really excited to get into some of my own space and have a whole style of something different to do. So let's get out to where the portal is and take a look at that for the end of the episode. So for the very beginnings here in what's going to be my main base area, I'm going to set up a portal on the overworld side, and we'll travel through from the other direction to link it up in the nether. But all you can see through here, all these plains, all this wide open space has not been claimed, so I'm going to take it. And I think I'm going to start with a bunch of games. This way goes to the chunk border, or the trim border at 4,000. And I'm going to start doing pixel art challenges over this way, and then some games. But it's all going to be themed, and the theme shall wait for the future. But this is just a step in the process of me getting my mini base, or my mega base actually, not a mini base, a mega base going. So let's get into the nether and see what the nether side looks like. I'm kind of scared. Well, that was very sketchy. It's quite a bit of lava lake out here actually, and so there's a very safe path now through the lava lake. temporary, but let's go see if this does connect. 186, we have the obsidian put down, so I should be able to light this, and it should link directly to the one that we just put in the overworld. And so I've got a quick way, not very safe, but a quick way. Hopefully it links. Fingers crossed. Math is done. I use the calculator and everything, so it has to work. Although it doesn't want to. It doesn't like loading the first time. And here we are. Here we are. We're back. We're back. So I have now a quick way of getting back and forth here. I'm not sure when I need to start moving out here, but this gives me like a sense of home. I'm gonna start with a house and a different storage building out here. Although spawn is still my main residence and where I'm gonna keep most of my things for now. But this gives me more of a project to work on. So what does one person do when they first come to their newest area for a big mega base? Storage room? Nah. Iron farm? Nah. We've got statues. The start of the statues. These are going to be the mech warriors that come around and protect the area. These are going to be the viewers. So for example, this one is from my brother Don. He wanted Prismarine as the side decoration on his little guy. So here we are, mech warrior. And I think a fitting end to the episode today is going to be to set up the new pixel art area. So if you weren't around for last season, I started to do monthly challenges where we did pixel art challenges. This year it's going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to be running themes, and it's going to be more for a longer period of time. No real set time period. Like, I'm not trying to force people into like really getting to it right away. But what I want to do right away is get it set up. So I've gone and I've bought a whole bunch of frog lights, and I've gotten a bunch of wood, and I've got a bunch of dyes and some sand and some concrete, and we're going to start making some picture frames over here near the chunk boundary. I've already cleared a bunch of the trees over here, and we're going to be setting up pixel art challenges over here. This tree line is right on the boundary of the trim, and over here we're going to start setting up a bunch of squares for the pixel art challenges. This pixel art challenge is going to be themed spring. Yeah, so maybe I do kind of miss having a concrete shop on the server, because yeah, maybe I should go use one of the beacons I have as like more than just decoration, and actually set it up here for making concrete. But it is what it is. It is what it is. More concrete, more concrete. With one square done, you can kind of get a handle on the scope of it. There's one panel. It's 32 by 32 on the interior diameter, so that if somebody is doing something, say, in creative, and they want to copy it over, they've got a very strong idea of where to go. So this is kind of the way I go. I make a rough frame. I lay out a bunch of concrete, and I start one light. I need 32 spaces, so I put 32 in my hotbar, and I go until the hotbar is empty. And then I know where my quarters are. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 1, 2, 2, and 3. And now I have to extend this over a little bit because, yeah, I want it to go all the way around the outside. Actually, I need one more block. That was 32. I need one for the light because this will be the space, and then it goes up, and then this comes out one more block. So I'm gonna need to actually get a lot more product. I keep forgetting it's quite basically it's like 4 stacks of concrete and 4 stacks of lights per square, and I need 18 squares. So maybe we're gonna cut to this being done, or maybe we're gonna cut to some withers being doing some sand mining. This is the final stage of decoration, where last year I like to write the month in my cursive handwriting. This time around, I want to do the theme, which is going to be spring. So, actually, yeah, we can go up here in the sky a little bit and show you what I've done so far. We pop in here. And so what I've done is I've written out in my handwriting on graph paper as the way I like to do it. You can start to see the word string, and I think I might pop you up on camera and show it off just to show you like I'm actually writing it out on graph paper and trying to copy it again. There we go. There's the graph paper, so you can see spring written out. And yeah, so then I could just fill in those blocks and try to copy it over into the map. This will be the final stage decoration. Write out spring, decorate the area a little bit, and this will be a good little like show you what the whole area is from out back. So you can see all the different panels all at once along with the theme. And we can have a kind of a succinct decoration. And then I like to outline it in colors. So we'll like pick a highlight and a low light and the direction of light travel. And so high on the light on one side, dark on the other. Yeah, so we'll come back and we'll show you what it all kind of looks like put together. And there we go. The whole thing is done. Well, mostly done. We can step back and take a look. So you can see the highlights on the one side and the dark on the other. As you step back, it reads better from a distance. And it's my handwriting. It's really cool. I really enjoy that process. So this is that nighttime with it all lit up. Should be mob proof. Still a bit more terraforming to do, which is fine. It's fine. But look forward to, again, the competition is going to run until the end of April. So there's lots and lots and lots of time. I'm also going to run the same competition on a different SMP called Inicio, which is governed by Julian Heifdog. There's a lot of members of the community that are over there as well. So it'll be kind of fun to see how we all do this together. I'm super excited. Thank you guys so much for coming by. And I've had a great time. Lots of progress, lots of different things. Next episode, we should get into games, mini games maybe. Looks like fun.